Alright, what's good YouTube? It's Jojo ASMR here, and welcome back to another Ritual Beast deck profile. Alright, haha, very funny. Yeah, comment down below, I get it, I'm a meme. I've made a severe lapse in judgment, I don't goof myself, alright? Moving on now. Look, what can I say? I just love this deck so much. I just can't stop playing it. It's not the best deck in the format. It's not even that well positioned. The games you get Lancet, you have frame perfect, just lose the game on the spot. But if you don't, you have a good chance of winning. But with all seriousness, I've been getting asked a lot what the Ritual Beast list looks like post Banlist. So I've been climbing Dueling Book rank ladder. I got to maybe 700 rating in a day. I've won the past 2 to 3 locals in a row with this list. Take that with a grain of salt. But I've been seeing a lot of success with the list, and now that I've actually had a ton of testing versus the new decks, I'm so confident with this list. I wish I could have gone back in time to go to YCS Anaheim with this list instead of what I played. Because if I could have gone an 8-3 bubble with the list I played in the last video, like, they were all dead. They were going to get destroyed, brother. So I'm going to show you my updated list. I think this is one of my best Ritual Beast lists, and I think this is how to play the deck moving forward. If you want more content, more deck profiles on other decks, be sure to give the video a like. And if you have any questions deck building wise, please leave them down below. I'll try to answer them. But yeah, I love this list. This is probably one of my favorite Rip Beast lists I've made. There's been a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of effort, a lot of research gone into it. So let's just get right into it. So let's just get right into the deck profile. I'm going to speed right through it and spend most of the time talking about why I play certain tech cards and certain card interactions, which I think is so important for you to know. Because I've had a lot of research and a lot of data after testing a lot with this deck on DB Ladder versus Ryziel and Malice. So we played a 40 card main deck. There's 3 Kennelhawks, 3 Pengus, 3 Laras, 3 Elders, and then we have the 5 other Spiritual Beast Tamers and the Spiritual Beast Monsters. The one thing I guess to say of note is I'm 100% Pedal Fin pilled. You have to play this card, don't cut it. You need it for certain anti-Nibiru combos with Lara and Pengu, and having the extra beast in the deck for the extra Kennelhawk loop is super relevant. Being able to push boards going second with Pedal Fin and Winder is super good, so I think this card is really important. I also don't play Prosperity in this list, so having the extra consistency of Pedal Fin to go with Elder or Lara is really good too. All these reasons, I think it's mandatory, but the biggest one being there are certain anti-Nibiru lines where you need the extra level 4 beast in the deck. So you have to play this card. The other thing I'll say is I'm still on the Nemesis cards, the Flag and the Protos. I've seen players start cutting these cards from their lists, which I understand why they're trying to do that, but it's just incorrect in my opinion. The reason for that is because if you don't play the Nemesis cards, you actually have no in-engine way to beat Nibiru. And if you try to play around Nib, your end boards are garbage. Like, they're actually terrible. Like, you might as well just play into Nib at that point, you know what I mean? So I actually just see these as engine requirements rather than like, oh, win more. Because you actually don't need the Nemesis cards for your end board, but you need these to play around Nib. And I don't want to just like start throwing away games to Nibiru because I wanted to play 2 more hand traps, you feel? So I think these cards are still mandatory and you have to play them. Don't cut these cards. Obviously, you can FTK the Malice matchup by calling Dark, and you can FTK the Ryziel matchup by calling Light. There's also a bunch of Fiendsmith in the format, so you can call Light. Then I'm on 3 Tellies, 2 Inheritance, and the Steeds for consistency. Steeds is my favorite trap card. This card's so broken, and I'll talk a lot more about that in just a second. So for my non-engine, this is the part I'm going to spend most of the time in the video talking about because I've really studied this non-engine and I'm so happy with the final product. So there's 3 Ash Blossom, obviously, to beat the Perulias, the Molchummies, it's Duo Drive, it's generic, right? Nothing really to be said here. This is the hand trap, though, I want to spend the most time talking about, which is Shifter. So a lot of people started cutting this card, including me, because I was ignorant, but there's a popular misconception that this card is bad versus Ryziel. This card's broken versus Ryziel. Firstly, like, even we just talk about the pure variant, for example, I would rather deal with just Detonator Pass than Duo Drive, Search, Plug-in, Cross, get full board, full setup, draw 2, draw 3, and then you actually lose. Shifter makes it so that the end board is way more manageable to deal with because it's literally just going to be a detonator on the board versus, like I said, Duo Drive, make 3 XYZ monsters and set up Field Spell and Plug-in and Thruster. Like, you're cooked. So this card makes the end board way more easier to deal with. Not to mention that now that there's been a huge rise in popularity of Fiendsmith Ryzeal, Bestial, Fiendsmith, Ryzeal. Those decks just get clapped by Shifter and make the end boards literally just detonate a pass. And then their Bestials literally are just blanks versus your deck because you don't care about Bestials. So Shifter's just too good not to play. The other very important thing about Shifter, which I realized a lot in my ranked matches and dueling book, is Shifter is broken in the game states when you get Fool Lost. Okay? So what do I mean by that? I'll literally show you. If you get Fool Lost versus Ryzeal and you have Shifter, you actually still just win. So let me show you how. Let's say I go normal summon Cannahawk, use the effect. I banish Lara. I go effect to summon from the deck, and they chain Foolos, right? So opponent goes ahead and drops Foolos on me. I'll give them a draw, and then I'll even give them a second draw and make ulti Cannahawk. Use the effect to search, chain it. So they get 2 draws, right? They get 2 draws. And I summon back these, and I search Steeds. If I just pass on this, even though the Ryzeal player got 2 draws, they actually just lose. And the reason for this is because under Shifter, all their Ryzeal monsters are not extenders. So let's say they open their best Ryzeal monster. Let's say they open Ice, right? Pretty good chance. They go normal Ice, special sword, search something, or summon X, search something. If you just on resolution Steeds the 2 Ryzeal monsters, the Ryzeal deck has no way to extend. Because all their Ryzeal monsters are banished, they can't sword, they can't X to dump from extra deck as a cost, they can't node, they actually just lose. So like, even if you give them 2 draws under Fool Loss, the Shifter still does its purpose, because they just pass. So that's why I think Shifter was really strong in the deck, because it is incredibly good in the game states when you get Fool Loss going first versus Ryzeal, because you're still able to set up Steeds with 2 pops. And that actually just like beats Ryzeal. They can't use the Fiendsmith cards. The Bestials are really whatever. That might actually be a bit complicated because they might be able to attack over one of you guys. But with the Fiendsmith cards or the Ryzeal cards, I summon guys search, popping both. They actually have no extension. So that's something really important to note, which is why I love Shifter, because it helps a lot in the game states when you go first into Fool and get Fool Lost. So sorry I took a little bit of time to talk about that. It was just very important. So there's 3 Shifters, there's 3 Ash Blossoms, like I said before, and then I also play 3 Imperms and my favorite hand trap, the Dominus Purge. This card, you just feel so safe when you draw it because it's going to guarantee trade with the Duo Drive, which is the choke point. So hitting Duo Drive, you don't have to worry about getting cross-outed, called by, thrusted, talented, hard draw, Ryzeal, cross-activate, then make Duo Drive. You just feel so safe because you know this is going to trade with the Duo Drive. So it's too good not to play. You may notice that I'm also playing the Nemesis cards, and I'm playing Dominus Purge, which is a popular, which is not a popular thing to do in Ritual Beast. They usually say you have to play one or the other, but I play both. Why? Because this idea that these conflict with each other is just not real, okay? When you think about it, the only times you will ever have to worry about drawing these 2 conflicting things together is in 2 situations. Number 1, you lose the 50-50 in the die roll and go second. And number 2, you then have to draw a 3 of with a 2 of, which the chances of that happening in a 40-card main deck is 6.5%. I will any day more than happily cop the 6.5% risk of drawing these 2 together after losing a 50-50 die roll and going second, than not play this card at all. Because Purge is just way too important in this format to deal with Duo Drive. You have to play this card, and you need to play these cards to beat Nibiru and other hand traps. So like, this idea that these conflict with each other is not real. And sure, you may have one game that it does happen. I'm not going to say otherwise, but like, you can always side it out, and it's 6.5%. I'm going to take that risk. So I think Purge is just way too important to not play. And then the final non-engine in my deck is Book of Eclipse, which is obviously a popular card in the Ritual Beast deck. It's so broken. Hits Detonator. It's good going first. Dodge Imperm, Bala, Nib. Good going second. And it is what it is. So that's the main deck. It's 40 cards, 15 non-engine. I think the list is really good. For the extra deck, there's 2 Ulti Cannahawk, 1 Nochi Drago. You can play more if you want. The Pelios, Anima to Threaten with SP going second, IP, Cross Sheep, Kimon Falco's Doppelink 4, Flame Banshee, Star Slayer, and Baguska. In the game state, you get debarried, but you can still make a rank 4. So yeah, you don't have to play this though. So for my side deck, I played, for my only going first cards, I played Call by Crossout. So the deck is already so broken going first, where if you just cross out the Lancia and Foolos and you stop those cards, you just win. Okay. So I don't play Floodgates, I don't play There Can Be Skill Drain, I don't play Die-Fi or Anti-Spell, you don't need them. You just want to FTK them and win. So this is the only going first I play. And then I play 3 Lancia for Malice, but I also side 1 going first for the Crossout. I'll play 3 Foolos for Malice and 2 Nibiru's. So I side in these 8. Going second into Malice, I just cut the Book of Eclipses, the Shifters, and other stuff to play these 8. And then I play 3 Perilia for the Rise Your deck. And that's it for my side deck. So I think this list is really good. I've been seeing a lot of success with it. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. So if you want more